Alright, this is one of the more basic tools in the shop. It's just your run-of-the-mill drill press. Now a couple safety things about the drill press. This whole unit right here spins, so you're going to want to be careful you don't have long hair or whatever that catches, or jewelry or clothing or whatever. Just make sure all that's tied back. You don't want that catching in there. Always wear safety glasses, obviously. Other than that, it's a relatively safe machine. A couple notes on the use. Got your start and stop button right here. This is your speed adjustment right here. You're always going to want to adjust this while it's running. Here, I'll show you real quick. Kind of just locks in place. It's kind of sticky. And then right here, you've got just a real basic drill guide for your different types of metal and drill bit size and whatever. You're just going to want to make sure you look that up on a chart or whatever if you're not entirely sure. In terms of operation, we have got a keyed chuck here. So you adjust this to your drill bit size, put it in there, make sure it's in there straight. Just grab one of these. And it's pretty straightforward. Just adjust that, put your drill bit in there, give it a little hand tighten. Then you take this chuck key, put it in one of these holes, crank down in the direction that tightens it, which is clockwise, always. And you don't want to go too tight because otherwise it's going to be real difficult to take it out. Obviously the opposite to take it out. You want to make sure that's in there good because you don't want that coming loose. It'll rattle around eventually and ruin your part, or worst case, fly out and hit someone. So if we take a closer look at some of the operating components of the drill press, we've got the lock on this side, which will lock the drilling part in position, and that will go back up. I never really find much use for that, but if you do, that's great. Now the handles on here, they're spring loaded, so don't let it hit you in the face when it comes up if you let go or whatever. And then the other kind of cool features, we've got the drill guide right here. You can adjust the height of this just by pulling back on this lever here for repetitive drilling, so you can always drill at that depth. Now, don't expect it to be perfect because obviously there's some play in this. It's just kind of a rough guide. And in terms of basic operation, that's really about it for the drill press. I'll show you how to use some of the clamps. Alright, so there's really two main clamp types we're looking at here. This clamp, which is pretty much always mounted onto the drill press here. You can adjust this. There's like a little keyed thing right there that it has like certain detents that it'll lock into. And you can pull that closed, you can hear all the detents there. And then once you get your part roughly clamped, finish it up by clamping this on there. And then this whole thing rotates just like so. You can tighten this in the back here to keep that from happening. And then the other type of clamp, I'll jam this in there, is this type. That what it does is it uses the channels that are on the table and the bolt, so you can tighten down on this bolt right here. Obviously you want to use a wrench, not just hand tighten. And then you can clamp down your part underneath here. And you're always going to want to make sure you clamp down your part real good so it doesn't catch, especially if you're using a large drill bit, so it doesn't catch and start spinning the whole piece. Because what can happen is if the piece is really long, I've had it come and actually hit me, and that can really hurt you if it's some sort of sharp piece. So you're want to make sure you clamp that down really good. And then one last thing, you're probably going to need to adjust the height of this table because you can't always get quite enough throw on this. So on this side over here, there's just a lock. You just rotate it to unlock the table. And then on this side, you've got just your standard lever, which will raise and lower the table. And of course, the clamp's kind of in the way right now, but you can still kind of rotate it, lower it, and whatnot. And that's really about it for the drill press.